Hi, and welcome to ACCFI Presents. My name is Nina Means, Director for Austin Community College Fashion Incubator, and we're here today with Dr. Molly Beth Malcolm, the Executive Vice President for Campus Operations and Public Affairs. Welcome.
Thanks. It's great to be here, Nina.
I know that, our heart with ACC is, we are a community college. We care deeply about the community, but then the community comes to us and they become students. Can you tell me a
Yes,
little bit about what your vision is for how students will interact with fashion at ACC?
absolutely. My vision would be that uh, our students, well, we've got high school programs.
That's
I would
right.
love to see those high school programs develop more in fashion at some of our high schools. And then that feeds into ACC to our fashion design program. And that feeds our to our CE programs. And then, like I said, going on and feeding into the university and into the fashion incubator somewhere along the way. So there's not any reason in the world that these programs can't grow. And I do see ACC as being the catalyst for that.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. I think students have so many ways to engage. And I feel like the fashion story at ACC has grown significantly, from the continuing education classes to the new associate degree in fashion design. I believe they're going to have some of their first graduates coming up here in the spring, which is very exciting.
It really
Um,
is.
so exciting. And then the fashion marketing department. We've got a lot of fashion, and of course, the fashion
We do.
incubator. But we've got a lot of fashion here at ACC. And Molly Beth, had you not been, Dr. Malcolm, had you not been, so passionate about it in the past, I don't know that we would have seen it grow like this.
Well, I appreciate your saying that, but it definitely took a team. And it was fun to see. We already had a fashion merchandising program that had been here for a long time, but to see it kind of get pulled in to help to create that fashion design program, all of these different ways. But yes, I have enjoyed getting to be a part of this. It's like, it's not what I majored in. I could never do what you do in designing clothes, but just the ability to be a part of it has really been exciting to me because when some people say, you know, fishing is their hobby, golfing is their hobby, playing tennis, mine is fashion.
I
And so
love
it's
it.
lots of fun to get to actually practice my hobby in my job, my paying job.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's always nice whenever you have an opportunity to overlap your passions and your professional life
It
together.
really
So
is. It is.
absolutely. I love that. So I want to kind of shift gears a little bit here, and kind of take our time. I feel like there's been so much this last year. 2020 was a doozy for a lot of us, right? It's pretty challenging. But in your role with public affairs and operations for the college, how has COVID-19 and the pandemic affected what you do in your work?
It's had a major impact on my work. Safety and operations all fall under, campus operations. So I've led the work that we've done on COVID-19, on the pandemic. And so once again, it takes a team of people to do all that we do, but we have an emergency operations center that meets on a regular basis to discuss what's going on, what do we need to do next. I'm also part of an area-wide group that meets with it's called the Big Five. It's the County of Travis, the City of Austin, Austin Community College, Austin ISD, and the University of Texas. We're the five largest public entities in Austin. So
Wow.
we come together on a regular basis also to look at how do we work together during this pandemic and what do we need to do differently. But one of the things, I mean, it's been work for everyone. There is no question about that. But for us to put in protocols that we have put in and change the way, even whether you're in a building or whether you're at home or what you're doing, all of the masking and the social distancing and the apps that we now have to fill out before we come to show we haven't been exposed to COVID, the temperatures. So it has changed tremendously the work that we've done in my whole department.
Yeah, I can only imagine. It's been so challenging to try to keep people safe, but ACC has been one of the few places that has been COVID free from a community spread standpoint. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct. We didn't have anybody on the campus, well, other than essential workers, until July. We brought our first students back the second summer term in July. Between July and now, which today is the middle of January, we've only had 35 cases of anybody that came on the campus, whether they were students or whether they were faculty. And of that, none of it was transmitted on campus.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Wow,
we are proud
that's
of that.
huge, Molly. Okay, I apologize because I know Dr. Malcolm because we work together professionally, and so it's one of those things where you're like, Molly, Beth, that's amazing,
It really is, but we've all taken it very seriously. So with
Absolutely.
our faculty and staff and talking to students, we've only brought classes back that required some part of the class to be in person, such as clinicals for nursing, welding students, things like that. So we have 11 campuses, and when we say we brought only 3,000 students back, maybe that still sounds like a lot, but it's really not when you think about 11 campuses, and these students are only on these campuses maybe an hour to 2 to 3 a week. So we are not utilizing all of the space that we have right now because we are and want to be very careful to
Absolutely.
protect our students and faculty and staff.
Absolutely. So for reference, for those who aren't familiar with how many students are at ACC on a normal day, what does a normal volume sound like for ACC?
Well, I'm not going to give it to you
Roughly.
correctly I'm going to give it to you yearly. We have about 76,000 students during the course of a year. That's credit and non-credit students. I love the University of Texas, but also like to always say, we're bigger than the University of Texas. And people forget that, how many students come to us. And of course, we're in several different counties, and we have the 11 campuses that I mentioned. And many people start their college careers with us, either in high school or before they go into the university. We're really proud of that as well.
That's excellent. So in contrast, being at 3,000 students across the district, is a huge difference on the annual volume of students that we have coming in and out of our doors throughout all of the campuses across the area.
Absolutely, that makes a big difference. But we've still got all those students signed up taking courses. Just so much of it is just like you and I are doing this interview right now on Zoom or whatever the platform may be. And we will continue to do that until it's safe again. We are excited that now the vaccine is out and people are starting to get it, but that's going to take several months. Mm-hmm. Our hope is that by the fall semester of 2021, hopefully we'll be able to get back to some semblance of normalcy, but we don't know yet. And as we always say, the decisions we make on what we're doing with our campuses right now and with our students, faculty, and staff, it's like driving a car. One foot may be on the gas and one may be on the brake. And you're pushing the gas to start doing things a little more normally, but then you got to put the brake on because of what's going on. And we're going to continue to always put the safety of our faculty, staff, and students first.
That's excellent. So I'm going to have just kind of a moment of women doing things awesomely, because in terms of the pandemic, when we looked across the board at the best disease control, the best virus control, we've noticed that whenever women are running it, that they've had some of the best results. Could we say the same thing here, Dr. Malcolm?
Yeah, and the women tend to figure out how to get along and make things happen. And so that's been great. And so you said women doing that, and I want to point out too, appreciate that the Fashion Incubator did make masks that we're using. And that's the part that I'd say more anything, it works. If people will wear their mask and keep their social distance, it actually works. Because as I mentioned, those 35 cases that we have had, those are people that have come on the campus and then self-reported. So we do the checking to see, okay, who were you close to? What happened? And the reason to date there has not been any campus transfer is even because those students or faculty and staff were on the campus, before they realized they had it. They had on their mask, and in the classes they were in, they kept their social distance. And so no one else caught it from them,
It
which is
works.
a great thing.
It works.
It does
Absolutely.
work.
So wonderful. Yeah, I think that one of the things that's given, I think even, just staff coming onto campus periodically has been, all of the protocols that we have to take whenever we come in.
Mhm.
I fill out an app on my phone, and then it's scanned at the desk where someone has a shield in front of their face, and then they scan your temperature, and you get a sticker to know that you've been
Yep.
vetted for the day. And I mean,
Uh-huh.
and it's very precise, very specific, and it works.
It does for sure.
Incredible. So again, I have to say thank you so much for what you've done in that space, because we've really seen very unique success due to the hard work that you and your team have done.
Thanks. Well, again, it takes a village, it takes a college. We're all in this together.
Absolutely. So, as we're kind of rounding out some of our conversation here, whenever you think about what fashion at ACC and what the Fashion Incubator could possibly be doing to really continue the, our aims for fashion here for Austin and beyond, what are some of your personal goals for the Fashion Incubator and for fashion?
I see two that I really do think are important, and I talked about them a little bit earlier. And one is that we build our high school programs for smooth entry into our college CE and credit programs, and we're a feeder then for the Fashion Incubator. Granted, it won't be everybody that comes through one of those programs. It'll be one of the designers chosen to be in the Fashion Incubator, but we hope, because they're having the opportunity to not only see the great workroom, but to see what's going on in the Fashion Incubator, that they'll apply and that they'll be chosen and be able to move on from there. So that is one that there's a really good pathway for students to start and come through our programs and then get to the Fashion Incubator. And then another thing I think that's critical is that we get to lead the way for Austin to become a leader in the fashion industry, with an opportunity for aspiring designers to come to this incubator and go, man, I know if I go through that program, I'm going to be able to be successful in what I do. Because that was one of the things, when the city was looking at wanting to start a program, as I said, they had designers, but they didn't know how to get their product to market. And so that's the beauty of the Fashion Incubator. Not, you're going to get people that already know how to design because they've been through another program or they've been doing it themselves. But now they're going to get the skills of here's how I get it to market. And I think that's critical. But it also gives us in Austin the opportunity to become that fashion hub.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love your vision. I share your vision. This is very exciting about, where we can go and what we can accomplish, not just for, the small business, not just for, it's really to the benefit of all, ACC,
Oh, yeah.
so we can't wait to continue to push that forward for our local community and beyond. Dr. Malcolm, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today about these very important issues, but also to get to know you a lot better. I think everyone's going to enjoy hearing about, your start as a model in Texas. So that's a Dallas Market Center, no less.
Yes. Well, it was a lot of fun. And then I went on, and as we all do, there's charity fashion shows. Once you're an adult, they were always fun to participate in too. But again, I love fashion. It really is about style. I think it's Yves Saint Laurent who said,
Yes.
fashions fade, style is eternal. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's extremely important to remember. Yes, fashion's going to come and go. In the end, it's also all about style. And I think what we're doing is we're creating a great style at ACC to help others enjoy style and fashion.
That's wonderful. I love it. Well, I think this is a great place for us to kind of cap our conversation today. Dr. Malcolm, thank you so much for your time. This has been an incredible moment to, just to share how we all got started here, the group of people who really came together to make the Fashion Incubator happen, from ACC, from the city, our partner with Gerber, and so Gerber Technology, to be able to build out an industry that we can all be proud of. So
Absolutely. I think it's critical. I want to put one more person. I mentioned Mike Midgley because he is that guy that knew how to put those programs together. I also want to mention Sherry Ann Jenkins. I
yes,
think nobody can make things come together like her as far as the build out and building. And Sherry Ann has a fashion degree, undergraduate degree, that a lot of people didn't have any idea about. So she was another one of those people that was really excited to work and see this program take off.
I love that. I love that. I think I should have a conversation with her as well.
I think you should also.
Excellent. Well, we will have to schedule that. I think it would be really important to get a chance to share, her story as well. But Dr. Malcolm, we are so glad that we got a chance to, really get into this with you. And, we know that this has been, a series of events that have led us here. So, we appreciate all of the hard work that's taken place, and we can't wait to do more hard work to get it over the hump. We're gonna get this thing going. So
I
we're
know it.
very, very excited about what's to come.
Well, I am too. And I look forward to all the great things that are going to happen at the Fashion Incubator at Austin Community College District.
Excellent.